Hey, welcome everybody to Bridging the Seen and Unseen. I am your host. I am Shane McLain, and this is Gwen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Can't complain. I told you my wife's here anyway. Yep, but I'm good. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about tonight's guest. She's all over the paranormal field, guys, and I know you guys have heard of her, and it is the supernatural eye, Francesca Garcia. Let's bring her on.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Thank
Hey,
you for having me on.
how are you?
Good. About yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I cannot complain. It's a pleasure having you on. I really appreciate you taking time to do this. We usually start out by just telling everybody who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Francesca Garcia, or better known as Supernatural Eye. I've been doing Supernatural Eye for a long time now. I would say over like 13 years or so. So it kind of just started off as like a self-discovery, kind of just collecting or hoarding, just, I guess you could say, paranormal documentation. So I just dragged my college friends back in the days. Of course, growing up, I had personal experience as a kid, experienced some things. So that's what kind of sparked my interest in the paranormal. And then I majored in psychology too, which kind of goes against the paranormal and goes into the scientific, field, and kind of they don't believe in all that stuff. But anyway, so I just kind of want to see what happened to me as a kid. If I was going crazy, I was going through like, just kind of like these weird dreams and sleep paralysis and just like weird things happened to me, but not always so dark. Also friendly spirits like connected with me in my sleep. It seems like that's my most vulnerable state. I'm not sure. They just like to connect with me, I guess, in my sleep. So that's what kind of sparked my interest too. But yeah, Supernatural started kind of in college with dragging my friends. At the time, nobody was kind of into the paranormal. I guess now it's a big interest nowadays, which is a good thing, but back then it really wasn't. So I was just that weird girl that, I had dragged my friends and like, hey, I'll pay for like whatever paranormal tour was going on, but I had to like drag them to kind of come with me. And that was my escape. So from there on, I kind of realized throughout the years, like, hey, I wanted to do this, I kind of want to be a paranormal investigator. So I kind of went against what I did in psychology and just kind of venture out in the paranormal as of right now. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and how Supernatural Eye started. I was formerly with War Party Paranormal. So from there on, I kind of joined the team. Now recently, I'm just kind of back to myself journey and just kind of doing a twist with season 4 of Supernatural Eye. So we'll get to that in a second. But that's how all that started.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was hoping you'd bring it up because that's where I first saw you was with them. And what always got me is the hat that you wear.
Yes. The iconic hats. I do have a couple of them.
Knows the hat, yeah.
The Ouija board seems to be the most popular one, but I do have a couple of them. And funny thing, I've always wore the hats, even like before I was like out there, just kind of starting off too back in college. Like I always like the hats. I'm like, this is gonna be my thing. Like I want to do the hats. And I'm sure like, it's not like my thing. I mean, everybody sometimes do hats, but yes, I am known to have like a whole hat collection and boots and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, because people ask and they're like, where have I heard her? Where have I seen that name? And then I'll say it again, and then I'll say the Ouija board hat.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh yeah, I did see her, and I'm like, yeah.
That's that girl.
So with the paranormal and everything, like, have you found like when you were in college and stuff like that? I also went to Bible college and stuff like that, and I have found that even in clergy wise, they are a lot more accepting into the paranormal than what a lot of science and psychology is. And I'm always wondered why that is, because a lot of what we do in the paranormal field has a lot to do with psychology.
Yes, 100%. Psychology is like pretty much everywhere. I mean, we're human beings, like our minds work that way. So that's pretty much psychology, studying the human interaction in the mind, like how the mind all interacts and works and all that fun stuff. But definitely, I think, and it mentioned funny thing that you said that I think you're Catholic, right? I mean, you guys are into
I'm independent. Yep.
Yep. So I know that Catholic is like the only religion, from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that does like full on exorcisms and believe in
Yeah.
exorcisms and all that. So I think maybe that's why it's a little bit more accepting, I would think, but don't take my word. I'm not 100% an expert on that in that sense. But I know in psychology, they're very with the science, and, you know, like even with parapsychology, I mean, like a little bit they may believe, but even so, like they want to make sure like there has to be something scientifically explained to kind of rationalize this situation, whether if it's underlying stressors, on, you know, if it's environmental, hereditary, like whatever the case is, like it all depends. But no, I don't think that everybody's schizophrenic or people that see things
Right.
hallucinate. So that not everybody has that brain pattern or whatever the case is. So that's where like I couldn't go for psychology. Like my uncle has his PhD. He's in St. Augustine. So he kind of looks at me like, child, what have you done?
Mhm.
I just felt like my heart couldn't go there because like there's just things that even to me personally as a kid has happened, and I just felt like my heart needs to take this direction. I need to show whether if and it's not even for the money. I know people are like, "Well, you even make money in this field," but to me, it's like more the passion. Like I like to help people, and you know, and see
That's
what,
me.
you know, trying to find research, right? Like what were these things? Like why do these things occur? Not everything's also evil, or, you know, I guess you could say demonic, or whatever you see on TV. Like they're mostly friendly cases. So what is it? Like what's causing hauntings? And I know that's
Mhm.
theories too, but that's where like my heart is at right now, and that's why I couldn't go for psychology. So maybe in the future, if, you know, I change of heart, whatever the case is, but for now I just feel like this is like where my, you know, where it's taking me, my guidance or whatever, my intuition, this is where I need to go.
I
That's where
got you.
am.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally accepted it, and then, you know, everything's better, and this is what
Yeah.
I was meant to do, and I feel better. So,
Yes, and even to help others too in a residential case, like whatever the case is, like it
Yes.
feels so rewarding. Even like if
Yes.
somebody's not sure, or scared, it's like, you know, most cases it's not as scary as what you think. It's just coexisting
Yeah.
with something that you're not sure of, you're not, you know, certain of, and it's odd. I get it, it's strange, but yeah, I like to help people, even show people, even like people that haven't had paranormal experience, that are skeptics. Oh, that's my favorite thing too.
I
to,
love
you know,
them. Love them.
yes, yes, you gotta have a skeptic. I get it, but it's just I love doing all that. I love to educate, help, you know, promote, and also not just the living, the dead too. So I like to help the other
Yes.
side as well.
And I wish more were really like that. I was helping, you know, I don't get around to doing like a lot of locations all the time because I usually have a lot. My wife and I do a lot of residentials, and getting them to understand and to break out of that monotony of believing everything's demonic.
Right.
You know, and I'll tell you the truth, and I'll say this until I pass. You know, out of all the cases that we've ever done, out of any one of them, 1% may be demonic. It has there's a criteria in that you have to look for. You know, like even as Catholic, we still require doctor analysis. We still a psychological evaluation. We do things the right way to eliminate everything, because the way that YouTube and everything uses demonic.
Hollywood and all that. Yeah, 100%. And that's,
And I tell people, I said, do not get a YouTube education. It will ruin any belief that you have in the
100%.
paranormal field.
And I hate to say it too, even before YouTube started becoming popular, it was even Hollywood, the TV shows, even some of the ghost hunting shows. I'm not going to say, it just kind of sometimes makes you cringe, and it's just like 100%. And then YouTube just started blowing up, and it just made it worse, right?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. There are people out there that everybody just, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. Every time you're like, oh no.
And I want to be respectful too, right? It's like,
according to YouTube, everybody's got demonic activity.
That's the thing. And it's just so annoying because it's exactly what you said. In most cases, I'll tell you right now, as a paranormal investigator, like, have I had creepy things happen to me as a kid? 100%. Now, I'm not going to say it's demonic, or anything like that. But as an investigator, still to this day, even with War Party, I have not dealt with a demonic case. I know team members have, like, even like the older generation as well, too, have dealt with it and exercised, and no team members that, they resort to or whatever. But I've personally myself doing this. No, I have not dealt with the demonic case. You know, like, has there been like an asshole spirit? I mean, you know, sorry if I'm out.
Always, yeah.
No, you're 100%. Good. You're good. You're
I'm
good.
like 100%, you know, but it doesn't mean like they're demonic per se. So it's like, yeah, it's so rare. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. Again, it's like that 1%er, you know, whatever, you know, so it's just very rare that you're going to come across that type of case. And I'm still willing to, you know, not that I'm like wanting to try a demonic case, but I'm curious to see like, hey, is this ever going to come across my lap? Because obviously it is scary to kind of deal with, but you want to prepare because you're not going to, you know, run and, you know, get scared of something like that. But you want to make sure you're with the right people who are educated and know what they're doing in those type of situations. So yeah, I 100% agree with you on that.
Absolutely.
You know, if you come upon something that you don't know how to handle, don't pretend you do. Ask somebody.
Exactly.
Thank you for saying that. And I wish more teams were like that. You know, my wife and I, we are into the paranormal. We have Outer Realms Paranormal, but Outer Realms is an in-house because we are clergy that works in the paranormal field. So instead of bringing in a team, we have a team that can go in and do these investigations, do the identifying, you know, do the clearing, do the cleansings, and if it is like a mild exorcism case or something like that, you know, we've got that covered, you know, with that. So we have all that there. And I wish more teams would reach out and ask for help like that. You know, it drives me crazy. You know, I had Francesca, I had a case where a woman had this little child, and this paranormal team went in there and told this lady that she had a demon in her house. They were getting ready to move out of their house. The kid was scared to death, everything like that. And we went and did the investigation or whatever. And she said that she had coffee cups moving. When she would go into the kitchen, she would leave, and then all of a sudden her cabinet doors were open, you know, and things like that. And I'm like, you know, none of this. Yeah, sure, it can be scary, but for a paranormal team to go in and tell her that because the cabinet's open, it's demonic. So I started doing more questioning with her and stuff like that, and found out 6 months before, her husband left to go to the store just for a real quick or whatever, and got in a hit and run and ended up killing him.
Oh, wow.
Not you, Michael.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I just keep looking at my this guy here. I'm like nodding my head. I'm like pulling the Mary Lynn right now.
Okay, Shane can't see the comments, so I usually try to. We got, you know, Christy. Hello, Michael.
Hey,
hello.
Christy. Hey, Michael.
And we've got, of course, me and Angie's like welcoming everybody, and then Michael's like, "Hey, Hottie." I can't wait to meet him in person. Michael, it has to happen. Okay.
I'm sure it's about you too as well.
Yes, and he said I slayed 6 demons. Oh no, and it's flipping. I slayed 6 demons. It was weird. They all had bags of candy though. Blessings.
That's why I did the nod. That's why I did the head nod. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, sorry, I don't want you to think it was about you.
That's
I was
crazy.
Listening to you, but that is crazy. And yes, I agree.
Sorry, Shay.
But the thing is, and thank you guys for being on too. But like I said, that lady, and I kept trying to reassure her. I said, you know, and I had to apologize to this lady, you know, because there was nothing in her house that had anything remotely close to a demonic. And to find out that her husband used to play tricks on her. When she would go and do dishes, now when she went and did the dishes in the kitchen, her husband would go by and take the dishes out or open the cabinet doors. So that was basically that we just found out that was him just allowing her to know that, hey, I'm still around. This is a way for you to know that I'm still here. And for a team to go in there, not once, but twice, and say that without 100% that is a demonic case in there. That's so wrong in so many ways, because I mean, the child was scared, she was scared and everything. And literally it was her husband trying to let her know that he was still around.
Yeah, and definitely if you're not used to those things, like that's definitely for somebody to come that you think is an expert, right?
Mhm.
And I put that in parentheses, but anyways, I'm like, but
There
it's
are
like
there are no experts in this
exactly,
field.
exactly. That's what I meant to. Yeah, nobody's really an expert because we're still learning as as we learn. So, but that's why I put that in parentheses. But anyway, so it's like, yeah, these people just to go tell, like, what she expects, like, okay, these are professionals that do ghost hunting, right? And to know, like, hey, this is possibly a demonic case, and then like to know it's not, like, it's yes, you have to really like to rule that out. Like one, again, like it's such a rare case. Like I still to this day have not dealt with one. I've done many investigations and a couple of residentials, and all that, but that's awful. And that's what's sad, that there is unfortunately people in not everybody, but there is certain other paranormal teams that yes, see too much Hollywood, see too much.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on in their minds, honestly, but there's just so much more than giggles and captures. Like there's just so much research to it, like the equipment that you're using. You need to know like what it's used for and how you use it. And there's certain devices that are not going to capture that you can easily debunk, and you just have to be smart on how you use it. Like
Right.
I know people, get on
Michael
my
has
GR60.
a question too.
Yeah, right.
No, we get to talking and it's like it's
I
great.
know you get carried on. Sorry, go ahead.
But Michael's saying, does Shane think that manifestation can also make people think it's demonic when it's not? I do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, because that's usually where it starts. Encroachment, things like that. That's where it usually starts. Because then it goes manifestation, infestation, oppression, possession, and then even in the past 5 years, obsession. So yeah, there is a series, but that's where it starts. But a lot of times things get manifested and they are not demonic, but they can mimic things. Like if you get things over a spirit box, I hear people going, "Oh, evil," or demonic and everything. And a lot of times those are trying to get you out of your element.
100%. Yep. Yeah, I agree with
So no, I don't. Like I said, if I go into a case and I'm telling you, and people think it's demonic, it's going to take quite a bit to really convince me that it's demonic. Because the very first demonic I've ever seen was inside of a church.
Wow, interesting. That's very
inside of a church. The guy was in there standing behind me, and the worship music started. And as soon as the worship music started, he was thrown about 15 feet into the wall behind him, smacked the wall, put a hole into the wall, and his body started contorting and doing things like this, had jet black eyes. I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen anything demonic. And that's why I knew that if I was getting into ministry, I was a full-time active pastor for 3 years in a church, and I stepped away to get into to get into spiritual warfare, because there's actual people that need help out there, and I wanted to be that source.
You guys, Nicole is asking, what is the best way of spiritual protection?
Who wants to go first?
Go ahead. You can go ahead, Francesca. Yeah, this is your
like,
show, because I can go on forever.
I personally use like crystals. Like I use I'm not like, I don't know so much about crystals. What I've been taught was I always carry my grandmother's rosary. I'm not saying that she's going to protect me from anything like that, maybe, but it's still something. Like I think of my grandmother, she's there with me, but not so much that too. Also like crystals, like what is it, like the black onyx, or like the, what is it called, the what crystal is that, the one that wards off negativity? If I word that, they say that's pretty good. Some of this, like the tiger eye, have a little chakra, so that seems to work. I know
Mine
some
has
people
different ones.
Yes.
And so I wear different stuff myself.
Yes, so that's what helps me at least. And I wear the like the necklaces too. So I try to wear all that, and then of course I always carry my grandmother. I say my grandmother with me, her rosary. But I know some of like my former team members and some people that I'm still close with, like they were like, what is it? The Archangel of Michael? Like, what was it? The medallion. Yeah. The prayer one. So I know like I've seen that before too. You know, I always carry like Palo Santo and sage, but I can't say that I do full on exorcisms or anything like that for full on protection. I'll leave that to you guys to discuss.
Nicole is saying black tourmaline. Yes,
that's what it is. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with the crystals, but I know that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Tiger's Eye's great too. I love and just because it's something that I like. My amethyst, I always have it in my either my little pouch. I'm old school. I carry it almost looks like a fanny pack, but I put it around my shoulder and
cool.
like a crossbody thing.
Yeah.
And I have all my littles, and I have a little bag.
Yeah.
That's cool. Whatever makes you feel right. I think.
Right. That's what I was about to say. That's what I use, a theological way of cleansing to rid negative energy with me. I do not use sage. And there's a reason behind that. I had a chief, an Indian chief on this show.
Okay.
Was it my chief?
And I asked him, if you do not have Native American blood in you, should you be using sage to rid negative energy? And he said,
my chief, wasn't it?
Yeah, your chief.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I use, and people do like sage. People do, but I use frankincense.
I heard about frankincense. Yes.
Frankincense. When you go in, you can do it before.
That's what they use at the churches, right? Like
yeah. And it's been used. It's been used even where the Ark of the Covenant was. The altar of the incense was used when God was hovering over the synagogue, and it said that it was a pleasing aroma to Him. It's an equalizer of any and all negative energies. So you can not only release energy from yourself, but you can release energy from the environment that you're in too. So I used that a lot. I use holy oil, I use holy water. You know, I mean, there's so many things that people can use. And I always tell people, look, if it works for you, it works for you. What works for me may not work for you. It's the same, but I use a theological way when I approach grounding, cleansing, things of that nature. But it's interesting to hear what people use.
Yeah. No, and I have holy water, we can't freaking talk right now. Holy water too, as well. So I have that little bottle in my bag too, as well, when I go, do my investigations and all that. But it is very interesting, the different techniques. And I have heard about sage too, that actually a lot of people don't like to use it. I don't know if that counts for me. Maybe I don't know. I've just heard like different theories about it, but I don't have like Native American. I guess you could say I'm half Colombian, so that's a little bit of whatever.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. It actually is.
That helped. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I have helped somebody that they felt like their car was there's something weird with the car. So I kind of did the sage cleansing from what they taught me and stuff. And it seemed to work, I hope.
Oh, wow. It did.
So, but we're in Ortona too, which was, Native American burial ground that was turned into a cemetery. So that was like the Calusa Indians too. So I have no idea, but hopefully she said it worked for her. But that's a good point, because I actually heard that a lot. So I don't want to mess that up.
My friend Riz, one I did my walkabout with, Shane. You know who Rez is. He's been on the show. He said and I've seen him do cleanse things. So he said he uses sage, cedar, sweetgrass, and it's the belief system of the practitioner. And that's right. What you believe.
Yeah.
He is Native American. He's Mohican. So
okay. I like Palo Santo better. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like that smell of that woody.
I do
like
too.
That. Yeah, I don't know. I like the smell.
I think it is. I know different stuff does help you, but I also think that if you have something, say your grandmother, that is an awesome idea to have something, because she could be with you. She could be helping you. I think it's what makes you feel right. And, I have moldavite. I don't know if y'all know what that is. It looks black, but if in the sun, it's green. And it was given to me by Bessie. I think it was her grandmother's. And I always wear that on, everything. So I don't have it on tonight, but yeah.
No, I get you on that. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I love my grandmother. So for me, I felt like she's always around. Like, I don't know. Right. She would. She was alive right now. She'd be like, girl, what are you doing? Get out of that nonsense, don't track that stuff. But, she was very, very Catholic, so she was just very no. But But yeah, I feel like in some form of way, she's like out there protecting me. So every time I carry her around, it's like, yeah. And I went to Casadega. Oh, sorry.
What
No,
was your first real memory of? Yeah, I want to say paranormal, but paranormal or anything different. What was your first memory? Like, how old were you?
Yeah. How old were you? Yeah.
Yeah, no, good question. So I would say as a kid, I had been like what 6 or 7, I want to say, like definitely around that age. I was still like in elementary school, but I was like kind of close to like, getting to like middle school. So I think that's when I first had like that, like, I'm not sure what this is, what's going on, am I going crazy kind of thing. So around that time frame, but definitely as a kid, I started kind of like seeing things. Like I know I dreamt with like my grandfather that I've never met in my life. He wasn't alive. He died early. So I just like always seen him around in my dreams. And then like, I kind of like saw an old family picture and I pointed him like, oh, I know that guy or whatever. My dad's like, what the heck is wrong with this? Like he didn't say much, but I think that was like the start of it. And then there was like, at first I never understood it. I know there's like theories of like this guy in a trench coat, like a shadow kind of like light figure man. And to me at first it scared the crap out of me. So that's how it started to me as a kid too. And I felt like he was like always in the corner of like my bed and stuff like that. And I just thought like maybe I'm stressed because my dad wasn't really around at the time. So he was just like traveling, doing work and all this stuff. So I just thought like, look, in psychology, I just thought it was maybe underlying stressors. Who knows, right? Like maybe just didn't have that father figure around as a kid and that kind of like whatever impacted me. But I think it was more like kind of like a guardian. I wouldn't say it was my grandfather per se, but I just felt like it was just something else. Like the more I got into this and the more, older I got and whatever, I just didn't think it was that scary anymore. As a kid, I didn't understand. I was like, what the heck is this? Right. And then you see some horror films and I loved horror films as a kid too. So that didn't help. Right.
Yeah.
So I was just already like, probably like, yeah, it's a demon. Who knows? Right. But then like, obviously that's what kind of sparked my interest in psychology and kind of get like, hey, what's going on with my brain? Right. So, but I think the older I got, I started to realize like, this is more like a guardian for me. Like it wasn't menacing. It was just kind of like, I hate to say it, but it was just like staring at me. Like it was just there. Like it didn't do much.
God.
It could be, but it was just like, it's like, not that he wore my hat per se. It was like a different hat, but it was like an old school, like kind of like what
like a fedora?
Kind of, yeah. Like
I see a fedora when you're talking about it. I see.
Do
I don't
you?
know why.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So it's like, and
it.
it's like the trench coat. So again, it was just like a black solid, like and
there's
no
the back
features.
of the trench coat. Whoever it is, the back of the trench coat. Yep, it's up. And I also see like they're looking. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is, but as a kid, that happened to me. So I don't know. But it still to this day has that occurred, that dream and stuff like that, or do I see him? Not really. I think like now he kind of like maybe he does, and I don't realize it. But that was more as a kid, and then like just weird things. There's times that like I had a weird dream. I'm not saying it's associated with that guy, but it was like I felt like it was like weird, like laughter, and I couldn't get out of my sleep. And it was just like this reoccurring, like just, I would say nightmare that was just like laughter and it was just like annoyance. And it was just like, it was really weird. So it's like weird things happened to me as a kid. And then later on, that's when I kind of just majored into like the field and kind of wanted to know like what the heck. So I'm like, oh, maybe it was stressed out. I was stressed out all these years and whatever.
If you said your dad wasn't around like all the time, and not my business, but I'm saying maybe it was something saying your dad's not here, I'm watching over you. It could.
That's what I took it as later on in life. That's exactly what, at first, like when I did psychology, I'm like, oh, that could be just me stressed out. Like I just made this imagination that happens all the time with kids, right? Because that's the science telling you this is what the rational thought is, right? Like it makes sense, But yes, later on, I felt like that's exactly what it was. It's more like a guardian to me. As a kid, I never understood it. Like I was like, what the heck, right? Like any other kid, like I was really scared. I told
was your family open to you though? Like if you told your family, like at 6, 7 years old, say, hey, I'm having these dreams, I'm having, would they take you seriously, or was it more like that's just an imaginary friend kind of thing?
My dad, absolutely not. He's very skeptical, very like,
Many horror movies.
Yes, he doesn't. Yep. So he doesn't believe in any of that stuff. So even still to this day, and like he's a little bit open-minded to it, because there's some things I've shown him that he's like, what the heck? And I felt like it was like his mom or my grandmother. But now she's passed on. But like, oh no, he definitely, when I was a kid growing up, he's like, this girl, like, no, she's watching too much. I'm like, tell my mom, like, what are you feeding her? Like these sweets, what's going on here? Right. My mother's a little bit more open to it. However, she tries to block it off. So I think at that time when I was reporting to her, she was like, no, she's going like, no. It must be she's imagining it. Like she just like wanted to block it off to not believe it. But I think there was a part of her that was like, oh crap, is this really happening to her? But my dad was like full on like, no, no. Go to bed, child. It's past your bedtime. Like what's going on?
How about your grandmother, the one that you were close to? What?
Yep. So she actually like she was very, very Catholic and religious. I would think like, I don't know, like a part of me thinks like she could have been spiritual, but I feel like she was more like, no, kind of like my dad, like had that, mindset that was very like, no, or at least she tried to hide it or maybe block it. But no, I know when, before she passed, like, in her, in her late, lifespan, she kind of knew I was getting into the paranormal. She was like very against it. Like she was like, no, don't be going into that stuff. Why don't you go into help people out? Go help real people. So, like saying psychology and stuff like that. Like, well, no, don't get into that stuff. That's not good for you. That's not good for you. So I would think that probably no, but now that I think like now I'm getting more connected with her that she's passed on, I feel like there's part of her that comes to me. I definitely in my sleep too. I know recently I have slept with her and I just, I twice, but I felt like hopefully she'll connect more with me in that sense.
Yeah. That's very interesting, because I had my first experience when I was 10 years old and I saw my grandfather.
Ooh,
it wasn't anything kind of real scary,
Yeah.
but my grandmother was that kind of like in church every single time the door is open. I mean, like to this day, if you went inside that church, like there is a pew there that has my grandmother and grandfather's name plaqued on it. So I mean they were there for so long. But she even saw an experience where my grandfather was chief lieutenant for SLED, which is South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. And he would have a routine. He would get up every day, take his bed back, open up his closet, take a suit out, lay the suit out, put the shoes on the floor, and then go into his bathroom and take a shower. Well, he had passed like 6 months before. And I heard a shower running and I got up and I looked and there was steam coming out of my grandfather's bathroom. And nobody had gone in there. And I went and I cut the water off and I came back and I looked and my mouth hit the floor because his bed was folded back. The closet door was open. There was a suit laying on the bed. And even inside the bed, there were feet prints to where you can see them up. And my grandmother came in. And my grandmother she's an Irish woman. She was a very firm believer in God. And the first thing she said to me was like, why would you do this?
Oh.
And I'm like, I didn't do this, Mama. I didn't do this at all. And so she locked the room up. Eventually, like locked it up because she kept saying that I was going in there at nighttime messing with stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And she locked it up and she went back in another time and it was the same way. So she had an experience there and I was like, wow, see. So I mean, like, and that's what made me get into the paranormal. Was not only having an experience myself, but seeing it. And I've looked for answers my whole life. I just want to know, and just wanting to know has put that curiosity out to where it's like, is this place, what kind of entity is this over here? If you're bad in life, you're bad in death. If you're good in life, you're good in death. If you're evil in life, you're evil in death. So, I mean, there's ways of explaining it. And my very first rule in the paranormal is debunk everything obvious first.
Yes, 100%. Yes. Do not always rule out it's paranormal because most likely it's not. 100%. Try to debunk as much as you can. Be that skeptic. Yes, 100%. Yes, I agree.
It's like I caught a guy. I caught a guy that was on TV. And like he had this REM pod that was going off like on almost command.
Okay.
and it looked to me like it was too perfect.
Interesting.
And to find out that the guy had a two-way radio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That will do
He
it.
had it in his pocket, and every time that he would ask a question, he would hit that two-way radio,
Oh, that's awful.
and
Yeah,
it would make the REM pod go off. So see, that's debunking.
100%.
You can debunk, and people think that there are people that don't catch that out there, but that's definitely not true.
100%. And I'm with you on that. That's why you have to be so smart. That's why I said that earlier. You have to be smart on how you use your devices, know your devices, because that's going to set off definitely your REM pod, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing is the K2. And I know we do this in ghost tours. We try to educate the public too, because I know a lot of things with some of the, not all ghost tours, but there's some of them. Even myself, when I first learned the paranormal, I went on my first ghost tour, they tell you the K2 is, you know, the orbs and whatever. And it's like, you know, it's like your K2, your phone setting that off, you know? So if you're recording on the phone and you have the K2 and you see it spike, it's your phone causing that EMF.
When we
to
do
go off.
investigations, we asked everybody to either turn your phone off, leave it in the
or
car,
airplane
or
mode. Or airplane mode.
I check because
I check.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I show everybody your hat? Can I show? Is that okay?
Wait, what happened? Oh,
your hat. Can I show
yeah, of course. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
for you guys that don't know, most everybody does. I love this hat. Okay,
Thank you.
This is the infamous hat right here.
I love it, but I was trying to find a close up. She might not like this picture, but I think it's cute.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that is the most popular hat. I got a new one, but everybody's like, "Where's the Ouija board one?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll bring it back." So in that event,
I think
that's the new one.
I don't know what that one's called, but that is very cute also. But
thank you. And it's like the cathedral, like the cathedral. You can freaking talk. The cathedral, like, you know, like the cross and everything else.
Yeah,
so it's
like
the crowns of like, I don't know, cathedral. I guess that's what it is. Like,
and these are some of my favorite pictures because I love to get in a tub in haunted places and do Estes method with stuff around me. So I have to say this with a hat,
the White Hill, the White Hill Mansion. Yeah,
see, I love it. Now I'm not sure which. Is that
the Ouija board? Yep, I use the Ouija board one a lot, but that was at Rock Island. So yep, that was in
See,
was that a tripwire around you?
Yes.
Look,
yes.
This is how I love to put equipment around and do that. And when I saw it, I was like, somebody else does it too. Dang it!
Yeah. That's all. That's awesome. Did you get any when you were there? Did you get any activity when you were in the tub?
Oh yes, definitely. I know I've been there twice. So that was the first time. Did we record the first time? There was the second.
Where was that? Was Rock Island?
That was White Hill. So me and the tub, that was at the White Hill Mansion. So yes, so that place is wild. Like I was that was featured on one of the guys' episodes of the Haunted Files. So I think that was like the second time we went there. The first time was like they had the White Hill like Paracon kind of thing that they do in May. So the guys got invited, so I kind of like joined them as well. And that was cool because that was that night where like people paid to do the ghost tour and stuff like that. So you know, Kyle invited us out. And I felt like, you know, like you got to do the tub sensation moment or whatever. Everybody goes in the tub and they kind of have their experience. So they didn't tell me what happened in the tub. But I went in there, nothing like visual, or I don't see much visuals. I'm more like sensation, like I just feel things. But I definitely felt like my left side was like tingly, like my whole left side. So people were thinking like maybe like the person that was there, I know she like kind of cut herself or something like that, but like she was draining blood. So they could have said that was probably made from the left side. So that was the only thing that I felt that was kind of weird. Other than that, not really. I can tell you that, I mean, I don't want to say too much unless you guys seen the episode of the Haunted Files. It's on Paraflix. But there was one with April Rousset. She's incredible, by the way, psychic medium. And that was probably one of the most memorable experience in Delco session, I would say, at the basement of the White Hill. And there's some things that I won't say too much, but it still sticks with me. It got a little political, I would say, but it sticks with you. That kind of makes you think like, oh crap, is this really going to happen in the future? I hope not, because things are getting kind of weird. But it got really, really dark, like in that session. Let's just put it that way. Wow. But you will see it on the episode. So go check it out. It's the Haunted Files.
And that's on Paraflix.
It's the guy's show. But so it was definitely a very memorable experience. But yeah, that bathtub, it seems like others have like more like crazy experience. Mine was just that like tingly sensation. It wasn't anything too crazy, I guess you could say.
No,
It was
what
cool
do you
for a
no. I noticed too that you said that you went to Alcatraz. You have to tell us about Alcatraz.
Yes, I was in my amateur stages, like when I was first starting off and I was like dragging
Oh.
people. So that my cousin lived in San Francisco at the time. So I'm like, cuz I'm visiting you. I'm dying to go to Alcatraz. It's on my bucket list. That's like the place you got to go, right? So at the time they didn't do the ghost tours. I think they do it now. I'm not sure, but that was like way back that how long ago was that? Like
They did at a time. I'm not sure, but I would love to go
No.
often.
Because I
Okay.
saw recently they do like these night ghost tours. Like, really, that could have been like me back then. That didn't happen.
Oh,
But it
I
was like the
know.
regular tour. It
No.
was like the regular tour. But I remember, I like, what was it? Like the Rangers are there, like the state rangers that kind of patrol that area. What do you call them? Like the ones that are kind of like all like in
The
the
state park
ones.
rangers.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
yes,
think it is. Yeah.
yes. Like
They do the national
yes.
Statue of Liberty and stuff too. And
Yeah,
well, that's
they
different.
patrol like all those. Yes, yes. Like shoot,
Mhm.
like I remember I was asking them for permission. Like I come from Florida, you know, I'm into the. And again, this wasn't popular at the time. The paranormal, maybe there was like ghost hunters and maybe ghost adventures on the shows.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even YouTube and stuff. I was like, you know, I'm really into this. Like I heard so and so was here. Can I please come check this out? So he's like, I'll give you 30 minutes and that's it. Like, you know, and I'll guide you when there's nobody around. Like I just don't want no noise contamination because I had my little recorder, you know, and all this stuff. I got my GoPro at the time, so I was like ready to go, right? So they let me 30 minutes and I was in solitaire and I got some really good EVPs,
Oh,
but
nice.
I wasn't smart enough at the time when I finally decided to do Supernatural. I didn't air that episode out. So my footage got lost because I didn't back up my stuff. I wasn't smart enough to do that. As an Apple person user, I learned that with Apple that eventually you got to like back up your stuff with these updates. Otherwise, like depending on how old the footage is, since it's
I
so
can't
Your
do
Winston.
Apple hates me.
and that's
So-
what happened to me. So I lost all
Yeah.
my Alcatraz footage. All I had was the EVP record, which it was great, but it's like, where's the footage to show you like that was real, right? So yeah, that was a disappointment. But anyways, like you live and you learn. I'm not a very techie person. Everybody knows that. Like I always have like the guys help me out, even with the supernatural eye stuff. But yeah, I'm not a techie person. But anyways, like that was a very cool experience. Otherwise, like just to do the museum, to feel that out, like it definitely. Even me being there during the day, I could tell you like how active that it was. And I wish I could have got the footage, but I don't have the footage. I mean, I had the recording.
Oh,
so
it's
you
a
can check that
shame
out.
you can't go back and get it though. Jeez.
Yeah.
Maybe one of your friends could deep dive into it and get it.
Oh no, I tried like
Did
anybody that was techie like that. I tried at the time when I was like, you know, trying to do the episode. I went to like one of those like computer like Geek Squad. I went to Geek Squad. I went to like the other people that like low key like just do it on the low. And I'm like, no, they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't crack it. And they're like, yeah, it's just 'cause you don't need to back up your stuff.
Mm.
And then there's like some experts. I forgot the name. That it's like Hollywood and all these like Universal like uses them, but you have to pay like a buttload of money to like just go.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not willing to do all that. And then they're like, well, it's not guaranteed. So I remember I kind of did some type of like, I was so desperate at the time that I think that they said that they would give me my money back if they weren't able to retrieve the file. And just I had to pay for the shipping part. And I had to like send my laptop and all this stuff.
Oh,
and they couldn't figure it out. So they like gave my money back. And I tried everything. I just to that point, I'm like, I have to let it go. Like I just have to let it go. But it is on my I would go back just to like do it again, you know, just because of that. But
it is on my bucket list too.
it is a cool place. I highly
Yeah, my
recommend
wife
checking
was asking about that. You know, she saw that and she was like, Alcatraz, and I'm like, yeah, I know. You know, because like I'm like you know, but I'm 48 years old. You know, so I you know, you couldn't just go and do any kind of like investigating there. They weren't allowing any of that.
No, they're
I
very
think they
strict.
have-
Yeah.
I think they have, as long as I think they have some structured things now. I may be
Nowadays.
wrong. I may be wrong. I haven't looked in a long time, but yeah.
I
That
think
would be
no, you're
awesome.
right. When I think you're right about that. I think nowadays they're like showing like ghost tours at night that they never did
Mm-hmm.
before. Like at least during that time they did it. But yeah, they have like their own little thing. But since you have to go on a boat ride or the ferry to get out there, so
yeah.
all time, you know, like restricted to that, they have to make sure you get back to San Francisco and then from that little
Mhm.
like, you know, ferry boat. So because you definitely have to take the boat out there. So I think like they're a little bit more like they have something. I haven't checked the
Mhm.
website yet. But they're very strict about that. It's not like any paranormal investigator can go out there unless you like you're super famous, you have like a lot of money to be like, hey, like I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that has done it like that. I mean, it's it's tough, and I get it. It's a very historical place. They want to
Yeah.
preserve it. It's deteriorating because it's been so many years. So I get that they really want to make sure it's preserved and, you know, respected. I get that too. But it is definitely something to check out. Even if you can't do a ghost tour, I'm sure like you can kind of like isolate yourself from the crowd. They kind of,
Yeah.
I took the latest tour.
Everybody wears the earbuds now, so you can do a little something in your pocket. No.
Exactly. No, exactly. No, it's so true. It's like there's certain things that you can do and kind of, it's so huge too. Like there's some areas I couldn't get to because of like the timing and all this stuff. So I highly recommend it. That's definitely one of my most memorable, you know, places, and definitely I would say like one of my favorite. It's just because it's Alcatraz. Like you can't beat that. But I would go back in a heartbeat for sure.
That's awesome. I see people are commenting. Are there any questions that people have for Francesca?
Not really. They're enjoying it, and they're talking about.
Oh, thank you,
Nathaniel Elwell. You may know him. Do you know?
What's up,
he
Nate?
has a podcast with her.
I feel like I've seen him. Yes, I feel like I've seen him in the events and stuff like that. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he has just written a book. I'm gonna pop it up shamelessly. Here you go, Nate.
Cool.
Don't smack me for it. If I can get it, I know it's on
check
here.
it out.
There it is. He just he wrote the book, and we got him an author. We helped out with that a little bit, and he basically he does YouTube also. And Nate, don't smack me. I can't remember his website. I can't forever, but he does good. He takes a piece of equipment and he says, okay, here. And, you know, if it works, it works. But he's going to be honest. And he's going to analyze the crap out of it. He also, if you have like evidence and you're not sure, he's one to send it to because he will analyze it. And he's going to tell you the truth.
Yep. Him and I both are, you know, we're, you know, if you get him and I on a podcast together, I mean, it's a really good podcast, but we still want to do a show together to where we analyze different videos and pieces of, and you know, and just give an honest, open opinion on that.
Yeah.
She said,
that's awesome.
Christy's going, he's amazing. Yeah, she read the free, you know, like a little sample of his book. You can get it on Amazon. He's my guy. I co-host with him, and it's a good show. But yeah, if you ever go to YouTube, check it out. He's honest about it.
Christy is my sister from down under.
Yeah.
So she's Australian. She's amazing. She
comes on a lot. Yeah, she thank you. She's one of our all the shows. She'll pop in all and say hey.
Awesome. I definitely need to go to Australia. It's on my bucket list. That's like one of like the places I want to go to. Like, I want to go to Australia.
I want to go to New Zealand, and I'm obsessed with Scotland. Don't know why, but I'm obsessed. So if you ever go, I'll be your assistant.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'll be your assistant anytime.
So, Francesca, let me ask you something. Let me ask you, with all this stuff going on in the paranormal field, what's your opinion on the state of what the paranormal is today compared to what it was 10 years ago?
Ooh, big question. I mean, I see it both positive, and I could see a little bit negative too. You know, I like the fact, let's start with the positive. I always like to start with positives. I would like the fact that there's more people interested in the field, right? Like that's cool that we're getting more in. You know, when I first started, I was like that weird girl, like things weren't really known. And then you got like really few shows out there that people just interpret that's what you do, right? But there's more to it. Like you said, it's not like what you see on the TV. So you know, back then it was hard to kind of get respected, I guess you could say, or people take you seriously. Nowadays, it seems like people find it cool. Even the ones that are not into it, they're like, oh, why you do this? Because it's becoming so popular now. Will you say it's the YouTubers? Could be. Now it's a new generation, right? Than like my generation, you know, it's a newer generation coming up, and it's like now they're very interested. So it kind of like, you know, gives us like kind of like, you know, it gives us like the platform, I guess you could say, to kind of put our stuff out there and for people to be like, oh, there's different investigators out there, right? It's not like these top-notch people, right? And then we can explain like the research and the things behind it. That's not what you just see on TV. So that's like the good thing about that, I guess you could say. But there's obviously cons to it. Obviously, there's not always good things to it. Like you have the people that think everything's a demon, and then you have people showing false evidence, and you think people like, okay, I see, like, let's say, and again, I'm not trying to, you know, I try to be respectful of everybody, but like you see Sam and Colby, like I want to be like Sam and Colby, and like it's just like, and you know, they're more entertainers. I hate to say it, they're not, you know, and I'm not saying I'm an expert. There is no experts. Like we discussed that earlier. We're all learning here. But you could tell there's a difference between what I consider an enthusiast entertainer versus somebody that's really trying to take this seriously and help people and do the research and know the things that are behind. It's not just an investigation and trying to capture ghosts. There's more to it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the downfall, I would say. Also, the paradrama. There's a lot of egos.
Oh man, that's what I was
years.
trying to get at right there.
So I was getting to that. I was getting to that in a second. I was trying to like kind of point that stuff out first. But I would say, and that's not just something new, right? Like, this has been going on for years, even before my time, right? Before I started really kind of getting to the paranormal community. Like, I just had like that, self-interest, and I was scared, like, should I do this? Should I not? Are people going to hate me? Are people going to judge me? Is my family going to think I'm like this, crazy person, right? Because that's where all that was coming from before I kind of put my stuff out there. But paradrama is the other thing too. I have to know, it's like the egos, like people think they're better than everybody else. And yeah, there might be things that you cringe. You try to be respectful of others and be like, hey, like, how can I tell somebody like this might not be legit and not offend them, right? Because maybe they're just learning, they got the wrong education out of it, right? So it's like there's a lot, and it's just the way you communicate and you approach people. But there's a lot of drama I notice in the field. People are not happy of other successes, and it's like we're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to try to be like I'm top notch or top dog in this field, right? Like, we're all in this together.
Support
like, we're all
each
here,
other.
like, exactly.
That's what I do. I try to support everybody.
100%. And that's how it should be. I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, you should be happy for each other. Not everybody has their turn, I guess, in life, you could say, right? Everybody's got their chance, whatever it is. But even so, it's not even so much of the importance of that. It's the importance of helping. The common goal, I think, is to help others and to try to find answers of what happens life after death, right? And like, what can we do?
Right, so unity. She said unity.
Unity, exactly.
Yes.
I think it's like, don't get distracted of the common goal. Like, don't let all that little glitz and glamour and the fame and the like, don't let all that get to you. I would say just definitely focus on yourself, be yourself, and focus on the common goal. And I think that's everybody's common goal, hopefully, if they're respectful in this
That's
field.
a great point. That's a great point. And then you got these paranormal celebrities, and stuff like that. And my wife made it, and it makes so much sense. And she was like, if you took the paranormal completely out of it and you told people who these people are, they would have no idea who they are.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
And I'm like, man, you're so right. And I mean, but the way that some people make themselves look is like, oh, the paranormal wouldn't be the paranormal without. No, that's not true.
No.
So I mean, look, you call yourself a celebrity, you can do whatever you want, but we're all in this. And if we would just all button down, work together, look to find answers and actually really help each other, the paranormal field and life in general would be easier for people to live.
100%. I 100% agree with that, because that's how we learn from each other. I always tell people, I get that college education, whatever, right? Everyone wants their kid to go to college and stuff. In reality, like, college education is not going to be your best education out there. I think your best education is knowing culture, knowing people, like travel the world, get to know different cultures, get to know different people, ideologies, whether if you're for it, against it, I don't care. Like, get to know people. I think, to me, that is the best education. And that's kind of similar to the paranormal too. We're not experts in this, right? Like, we're all learning from each other. We're still learning, because this is not concrete. There's always going to be, I hate to say it, but in the scientific field, it's always going to be considered a pseudoscience. So we're not all experts here. So we're all learning from each other. And I think that is the best education. And to point that out too, it's just learning from each other. We're all different, how we have different ideas and different experiences.
I love to see how people investigate different than I do. And I'll say, let me watch you. Let me watch you. And they'll be like,
that's what I mean.
And I'm like, okay, well, sweet. Yeah. That's the fun about going to Paracons and meeting people.
Yes.
That's I walk around and I just meet, and hey, and if somebody didn't want to talk to me, that's their loss.
Think about it too. If they use this analogy that perception is reality, it would make it so much easier for people, because my perception, how I see things, is not necessarily going to be yours. Does that make me wrong? Does that make my reality any less than what yours is? Of course not. 100%. Perception is reality. And if people were just to get that in and not try to down people so much, not try to point fingers and make the field any worse than what it is, I think it would really, really help people.
100%. Yeah, I agree. And then sometimes I know that I know people get in the heat of the moment too, but I'm always a person that like to keep my stuff private, even if somebody does me wrong, right? Like I always like, ooh, I'm not going to share too much information, right? Like, yeah, I could have said like I stepped out of these teams and whatever, but I never want to pinpoint people, put their stuff out to me, even if they've done it to me. And I know it's been done, to me personally, but it looks so bad. It's like, why? Like, why are you going to put your, it's like, I'm here to promote paranormal and research and things like that. I'm not here to like, just, talk about life and gossip and what's the daily dish, like, like that's just dumb. So it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, just work on yourself, like common goals. Like it's not competing. Like we're not here. We don't have egos. Like we're all here for a common goal. We're here to help the living and the dead. And I think that's the way it should be. And like, honestly, like you said, best education is learning from people.
That's it. Perception is reality. Perception is reality. Francesca, we got a few minutes left. Why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you?
Sure. So for right now, I'm on YouTube. I'll be making an announcement on my next episode, but I will be going a different direction for season 4. So season 1, 2, 3 is on my YouTube channel. You can find me on Supernatural Eye. Go ahead and, follow, subscribe. You can see actually how raw it was. Like when I first started, there's going to be cringe moments. Obviously, for my first season, you don't see that my ideologies are the same in the paranormal. So it's changed, but that's the point. You'll see like that formation of like season 1 to 3. It's more podcasty, like showing clip style, but season 4 will be a different approach. It'll be on a streaming platform. It's still in the works. So I'm with Losco Production. So it's a new production company established by Michael Gagliano, as we saw him earlier in this chat, and Miss Mary Lynn. So they're awesome. They're fabulous. We're just starting that off. There'll be
our friend Annie Waters is a production assistant.
Yes, she is. I love her. I love Miss Annie. So there's great people
tonight. She was out there promoting you tonight. Just know that.
That's awesome.
I love Annie. Oh, she's awesome. We were roomied together at Rock Island. She's awesome. I freaking love her. Yeah.
I had to come home early. I was in the area. I did my own little thing. It's called Paranormal Walkabout. It'll be out whenever I can sit down for 1,000,000 hours and go through all the stuff. So you know what I'm talking about. But I hurt my knee twice, and I was supposed to go with my friend Christina Bloom and some others. Okay. And Annie was going to be there, and I had to come home, and I missed it, and I wanted to go so bad.
Yeah, no, I'm bad.
It's that one where there was a bunch of people that I wanted to just see and just kind of catch up, and I was like, I missed it.
There'll always be a next time, though.
There will, and you know what? Like I'm going to Salem in November. Cool. There's a bunch of people there, and for those people that are watching, I played the commercial, and I'm gonna play it again at the end because we're trying to come see everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't have a booth, if you're close, come on.
Still come on over.
Well, Francesca, I want to thank you so much for being on this show. It's been a blast talking to you. No, and I'm sure we can go on and on and on about this.
I'm sorry.
I have to. No, that just means I got to have you back so we can continue the conversation. Because I have a lot more to ask you, but I really do appreciate you taking your time to come on here and talk to me. It's been a really good time. You're an awesome person, and I really hope and pray that the paranormal treats you well, and that you're able to do everything that your heart desires in this field.
Well, thank you. And I wish you guys the same too. You guys have been nothing but great and awesome and incredibly nice too. So thank you. And I hope we cross paths and we do a little collaboration, because that's definitely
absolutely
very intrigued. Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can you hold on in the back for a couple minutes and let us?
Yes, of course. Okay. Yes.
All right, guys.
Thank you again. I'm gonna drop you down. We're gonna close it out. So just hold on a minute in the back for me.
You got.
You guys,
we
love her. She's cool.
That was her. She's awesome. She's amazing, and I want to thank everybody for coming on. I can't see all the comments, guys, but
they were commenting on, like speaking to each other and commenting, great show, and all, and
thank you guys so much for doing that, because that means a lot. That lets us see that you're interested, that you're into the show. I've got some great guests lined up, especially for next week too. So you guys just stay tuned, okay? And I'm telling you, we're coming back. We're coming into 26 with a vengeance. So you guys stay safe, be blessed always, and stay spooky, people. Peace.